Hello folks, and welcome to my first 5-game series video. In this video I'm going to go over games that either 1. Gave the storyline away to the game, or 2. Helped the player get through a puzzle in the game. The first game I'm going to show you is The Pawn. The Pawn actually gave the storyline away. In the storage room northeast of the Alchemist Laboratory. The Pawn is a text adventure game that came out in the 80s and is very difficult to get through. The Pawn was the first text adventure game to have graphics in the form of pictures with it. There was no music in The Pawn. There was an opening theme music, but that's about it. The game itself had no music while playing the game. So here we go with The Pawn. Now, after you get past the alchemist in the laboratory by giving them the lead, you can go northeast into the alchemist storeroom. This is where the tomes are, and if you cast a spell on the tomes, you can read the game's storyline.
Leave storeroom. This is the alchemist storeroom full of dusty old rubbish. In the south wall is an opening leading into a tubular corridor, and the doorway in the southwest corner of the room leads to the laboratory. There are some tomes and an arrow out here.
Get tomes.
Get tomes. You have now got the tomes.
Yep, examine tomes.
Examine tomes. The tomes are works of ancient lore which would crumble to dust if you tried to open them without a spell. They are closed.
Cast spell on tomes.
Cast spell on tomes. It works. The book opens.
Read tomes.
Read tomes. The tomes tell of an ancient contract between Kronos and the devil, giving Kronos his evil powers in return for his soul. When Kronos' mortal life expires, his soul must suffer the most horrendous agony for eternity. You skip through a few paragraphs of small print and find a subclause near the end stating that Kronos can avoid this torture by exchanging three good souls for his own. Once read, the tomes crumble to nothing.
The second game I'm going to take a look at is Legacy of the Ancients. If you played Legacy of the Ancients enough, you'll know that Legacy of the Ancients gives the storyline away in the Galactic Museum. Legacy of the Ancients is a role-playing game, and it came out once again in the 80s. It is a very good game with some very good graphics. So here we go with Legacy of the Ancients. Now, Legacy of the Ancients, after you visited the Ancient Weaponry display and spent one of your jade coins on it, if you start wandering around the museum, you will be hit up with a message from your bracelet. This message is telling you the storyline of the game. Your gold bracelet glows. A strange voice sounds inside your head. Do not be alarmed. You are just hearing my thoughts as recorded by the bracelet. Since you are now wearing my bracelet, I must be dead. I therefore charge you to continue my mission to neutralize the evil scroll of spells before it destroys everything. You see, the leather scroll you now carry is the immensely evil wizard's compendium. Since it cannot be destroyed outright, you must learn how to render its magic harmless. Beware, there are those who would think nothing of killing you in order to possess the magic compendium. There is little more to tell. By now you must be inside the Galactic Museum. Your entrance gained by the bracelet and my obsidian code disk. This museum was built by a race of ancient beings who constructed many such museums on many different planets. These ancients designed each museum for their own amusement. If you're clever, you'll find many answers here. Yet, since you're not one of the ancients, you'll have to scrounge around the countryside for coins to view exhibits. Remember your quest. Good luck. The third game on the list I'm going to take a look at is Dragon Wars. Dragon Wars is a role-playing game. I think it's set in the world of Oceania. You have to get rid of your nemesis called Namtar, which came from the pit. And that's where you have to send Namtar back to where he belongs, the pit. Oh, there is a spot in Megan's Underworld where Dragon Wars tells you the whole plot of the game and everything, the whole storyline, what you have to do to win it. That's what we're going to take a look at next. In Megan's Underworld there is a cave, and if you explore the cave it will tell you the game storyline and what you need to do to win the game. In the shadows of the mountains you find an eerie cave. Enter. I guess it told me to read paragraph 127. This is where it tells you the goal of this game. The cave is much larger on the inside than without. The interior of the cave is lined with thousands of natural crystals that crazily reflect the light. After your long dark journey through the underworld, you are dazzled by the sudden light and become disoriented. A voice rings in your ears. You are the heroes of Oceania, and to you have fallen the burden of this adventure. Listen closely, for this is what you must do. The fair world of Oceania is sinking as the seas swell ever larger. There is little to be done for this. The world has its span of life. Like any man or beast, the pilgrim islands of Dilmun have been usurped by Namtar, a renegade demon from the realm of this underworld. He has disposed of King Drake of King's Home and rules in the late king's name, using the king's legions to pursue his path of conquest. Namtar must be destroyed. He has isolated his enemies, dispersed the magical brotherhood of the world, and taken control of the dragons. The sword of freedom must be found and reborn in its forge. A reconciliation of sorts must be set between Arkela and Nergal, for without accord in the underworld there can be no peace on the surface. When all is ready, seek the mountain of salvation. Namtar must be returned to the pit of hell from which he came. The voice fades. Now, the fourth game on the list that we're going to look at is Guild of Thieves. Guild of Thieves is a text adventure game that came out in the 80s and is put out by Magnetic Scrolls. The Guild of Thieves gives you some help to get out of the treasure room, but it's early on in the game. You have to go to the library, open up the desk, and look in a box, and the box has 4 cards in it with 4 different suits, and you have to write down the missing suit. If you don't write down the missing suit, you'll have trouble getting out of the treasure room. So that's what we're going to take a look at next, the Guild of Thieves. Now, in Guild of Thieves, if you go to the entrance hall and go up and then go west, you'll enter a library. In the library, you will find a desk. If you open the desk and look in it, you will find 4 suits of cards. One of the suits is missing. You have to write down the missing suit to get out of the treasure room at the end of the game. We find a corridor. And then we'll go west. We find a library. Examine, examine desk. We did say there was a desk there. The desk allows guests to read in comfort. There's a paper back in the box on it. Open. Box. Look. In. Box. The box contains a joker, a queen of diamonds, an ace of clubs, a king of oops, I'm getting ahead of myself, diamonds, and a king of spades. So what's missing here? Gotta find out the suit that's missing and write it down. It comes into play later on in the game towards the end. So we got diamonds, clubs, spades. Heart is missing, so you want to write that down. I want to write down heart. Yep, because there's a queen of diamonds, ace of clubs, king of spades, but there's no heart. Now, since we copied down the missing suit that was missing from the desk, which is the heart, we now know what direction to go to get out of the treasure room or the cubicle room, and the direction is southeast. I'm in post. Can't see right here. Okay, see here, the signpost, I guess it's one word, has 4 arrows pointing at the 4 exits. Northwest is spades, northeast is diamonds, southwest is clubs, and southeast is hearts. Now remember when we were in the library, in the, one of the access rooms that lead off in the entrance hall, and there was 4 suits, so one of these is the correct exit and the other one is death. Which suit was missing was the king of hearts, so hearts would be the correct way to go, so we would go southeast. Let me see if we have some light here. Oh, I forgot to get all, didn't I? Almost walked out with all the without the treasure. That'd have been disastrous. Yeah. Almost forgot to take everything. Get white. I don't know, can we? I don't know if we can or not. Yep. We got double light. Southeast. Well, let's check the signpost one more time. So make sure we go in the right direction. Yep. Southeast. Yep. It better be, because that's the one suit that was missing. Yep, White Room. Now the fifth game on the list and final game is Bard's Tale 3, Thief of Fate. Bard's Tale 3 is a role-playing game that is part of the Bard's Tale series. It's the last chapter in the Bard's Tale series, and the very last dungeon that you have to tackle is called the Destiny Stone. And the Destiny Stone is just a series of doors that you have to go through. The Bard's Tale, to get to the Destiny Stone, what you have to do is look to the Bard's Tale manual. So you have to go outside the game in order to find a clue to help you get through the Destiny Stone. And in case you wonder, the clue is on page 29 of the Bard's Tale 2 manual. On page 29 of the Bard's Tale 2 manual, there is a set of arrows with 7 paths. If you take these 7 paths one at a time, you will successfully go through the Destiny Stone. This is how the game helps you get through the Destiny Stone. We go through the north door. And ARKA, no, ST. Cast 5 SCSI. North door. Yes. Now, what do we enter now? We don't enter anything. Freeze, please. Exit.